Demon Resources, a Good Omens fanfiction, written by MunchMulch, read aloud by SkyAsimaru. If you enjoy this podfic, you can check out the original story on Archive of Our Own. If you would like to hear more of my recordings or see some of my own work, you can find me through the pen and screen name of SkyAsimaru. Demon Resources. Summary. It may be surprising to note that if you were to compare the Demonic Resources Department with its angelic counterpart, you would find that Demonic Resources is both more efficiently run and brutally effective. Currently, Crowley is in a meeting with their case manager. It may be surprising to note that if you were to compare the Demonic Resources Department with its angelic counterpart, you would find that Demonic Resources is both more efficiently run and brutally effective. Angelic Resources is quite polite. They'll listen to your complaints. Someone might even pat your back consolingly. Unfortunately, they also have little to no authority. Under the tense bureaucracy of heaven, reports filed against any angel ranked higher than a power always seem to get lost in a back cabinet to gather dust. Well, it isn't dust that gathers in heaven. It's much worse, micro-glitter. Demonic Resources, on the other hand, is a horrifying amalgam of resource management, judicial enforcement, and a militia. As long as you have a genuine complaint and the right paperwork, the justice that Demonic Resources implements is both fast and terrifying. However, the fear of the consequences of wasting the department's time, combined with the uncertainty over which forms to fill out, keeps many demons away from it. It's a shame, really. They do have a demon assigned to walk people through the paperwork. Balaam has mostly stopped telling people how they're going to die, and it's quite rude to keep leaving their office in tears. Currently, Crowley is in a meeting with their case manager. The office is dimly lit, a dingy glow filtering through the sourceless vapor curling along the walls. 2 banged-up chairs and a desk are the only furniture in the room. The demon across from Crowley is covered in dark, pebbly scales and sports a wide mouth full of dull fangs. Crowley is trying to look confident and is landing somewhere closer to manic.
Listen, Saleo, Spuddy, this was all above board. I swear I have the forms all sorted out and everything.
They nervously wave a thick manila folder labeled Crowley's Paperwork, Essential Documents. The case manager nods, calmly breathing hellfire out of their thick nostrils.
I'm sure that's true, bosom. Take some deep breaths and we'll sort this out together, step by step.
Crowley nods frantically, sweat prickling at the back of their neck, as they try and ignore the crocodile nudging one of their legs. They freeze, brain catching up.
Bosom?
Several supervisors in Demonic Resources have been pushing for the use of casual endearments with case managers, though none of them can agree if it's supposed to put demons at ease or intimidate them.
No.
The case manager ignores the implied question and squints slitted eyes at the yellowed paperwork on their desk.
Let's start with the misplacement of the Antichrist.
Adversary, destroyer of kings, angel of the bottomless pit, great beast that is called dragon, prince of this world, father of lies, spawn of Satan, lord of darkness.
Complaint filed by Lord Beelzebub.
Crowley nods some more, stammering.
Right.
They fumble with the folder and pull out a sticky note from the side of one of the flaps, squinting at it.
Yeah, so, I would like to state that I turned over the Antichrist.
Adversary, destroyer of kings, angel of the bottomless pit, great beast that is called dragon, prince of this world, father of lies, spawn of Satan, lord of darkness.
To a nun of the Chattering Order of St. Beryl, as I was instructed.
They swallow.
My verbal account can be confirmed by the former agent of our Dark Lord, Mary Hodges.
Not yet deceased.
Any further sources of my innocence have been, regrettably, burned in an unauthorized fire executed by the demon Duke Hastur. Now, pull out the photocopy of the official complaint form we filled out, dear. It's the one with the light blue
Crowley cuts themselves off and sorts through their papers before handing one over that has a light blue sticky note attached, labeled Damage Complaint, Unauthorized Action Against Human Agents of the Infernal Master. Salios looks genuinely pleased as they accept the form, taking a moment to read it over before writing the human's name on a third sticky note and attaching it.
I'll follow up with this, but everything looks to be in order.
The crocodile demon lifts the list of charges closer to their face, turning their head to the side as they squint. Crowley, against their better judgment, mumbles,
"Oh, bad eyes, team. Can't see shit vibes."
Salios singes the paper a bit with a snort, and then moves on.
Next complaint, disruption and prevention of Armageddon.
Crowley perks up. They have their response memorized for this one.
Actually, there is absolutely no evidence that I, personally, was helpful in preventing Armageddon. Like, at all. Useless, really.
Crowley fumbles with some more papers.
I have written accounts from both the Antichrist,
Adversary, destroyer of kings, angel of the bottomless pit, great beast that is called dragon, prince of this world, father of lies, spawn of Satan, lord of darkness.
and the humans who were involved.
Crowley flips through until they find the end of Adam's report, pointing to the passage which reads,
Yeah, I have no idea who these guys are. I've never met them before. They just showed up and started talking a lot. First impressions, the one who looks like a bajillion-year-old librarian tried to shoot me, and then pretended to take a coin out of my ear. And the one with sunglasses who looks like he might be in the mob slipped me 50 quid when my dad wasn't looking.
Crowley's case manager is grinning now, wiggling in their seat in a way that immediately endears them to Crowley.
Oh, this is very good.
Salios inches their paperwork even closer to their face, and their smile droops a bit.
Next point, the murder of Duke Liga.
They frown disapprovingly at Crowley. Crowley throws their hands up in the air.
Self-defense! That was self-defense! In fact...
Thanks somebody that Aziraphale is friends with Dagon. Aziraphale and Dagon met during Crowley's 100-year nap. The demon had popped in to find out why Crowley's paperwork had suddenly improved. Once the slight misunderstanding of why an angel was in a demon's flat was cleared up, a deal was negotiated that would ensure secrecy in exchange for at least one demon turning in something legible. They've kept in contact ever since. Because there is no way Crowley would have been able to get this photocopy otherwise. They slap Beelzebub's order down on the desk triumphantly, which simply reads,
Haster, you useless sack of pus! Take your squeeze and find Crowley, and then start popping off limbs until the slippery bastard tells us what the fuck is up with the Antichrist.
Adversary, destroyer of kings, angel of the bottomless pit, great beast that is called dragon, prince of this world, father of lies, spawn of Satan, lord of darkness. The note is signed with Beelzebub's insignia, but Salios doesn't look completely convinced, pursing their lips at the paper.
And...
Crowley points at the demon.
Liga came back from the dead, so no harm done.
Crowley seesaws their hand back and forth.
Not taking into account a medium to high level of trauma.
They cough.
And I'm not sure either of them will testify to this, but the holy water was in a bucket over the door. I warned them not to come in.
This seems to satisfy Salios, who relaxes back into their seat with a hum. Crowley's not done, though.
And if you're going to get on me about murder, Beelzebub ordered that an usher be used to test the holy water during my trial. Real nasty scene, that.
Crowley has never been above tattling. Aziraphale had been very grumpy about it, insisting that the little dragon was cute enough that it had probably never done anything wrong, ever in its life.
Speaking of my trial, total sham that was. Wasn't given the stand to state my side of things.
Crowley's hands flailed dramatically.
Had one judge and 2 prosecutors. I didn't even get a defense counsel.
Though in Beelzebub's defense lawyers are much harder to find in hell than prosecutors. Crowley crosses their arms sullenly.
Bloody rude is what that is.
They brighten.
Oodles of witnesses to back me up on that, though. Spectator sport and all.
Salios looks shocked, bringing a hand to their chest as if to clutch imaginary pearls.
None of the proper paperwork necessary for a rigged trial was filled out.
They tut.
Oh, I'll have to bring this to my supervisor.
Crowley, not really expecting support, and looking a bit embarrassed about their dramatics, hunches back into the chair.
Right, thanks.
The demon huffs.
Well, last thing on the list...
Another squint.
Fraternization with the enemy. A friendly cooperation with an angel.
At this, Crowley positively lights up, pulling the last piece of paper from the folder with a flourish. It's so yellow it's almost brown, oddly grainy in texture, and thin enough that it's probably being held together by a miracle.
I applied and was approved for the attempted seduction of the Principality Aziraphale on the 22nd day.
The 22nd day of the world, that is. Crowley knew what they were about. They had filed the request as soon as hell got itself together enough to start having paperwork. Crowley, absolutely proud and ready to flaunt, waggles their fingers at Saleos, showing off the golden engagement ring.
And I did an excellent job. Got Aziraphale fired from heaven, and we're getting married.
They'd also both agreed that neither of them have any real interest in lust, which is what Crowley was originally approved for. But who's gonna check in about that? Saleos gasps, carefully accepting the form and lighting up the room with another toothy smile.
Oh, congratulations! A good show. I think we're done here. I'll make sure all of this is processed, and as long as all your sources check out, you should be in the clear.
The demon wiggles again.
I do love when people have all their paperwork together.
Crowley grins back, bounding out of their seat.
Honestly, thank the angel. I can barely see all that fiddly little text. It's why Dagon has them do all my forms.
Making for the door, Crowley stops, turns around, swaying back and forth for a moment, before pulling a card from an impossibly small pocket and sashaying back over to hand it to Saleos, mumbling,
If you're free.
Before loping out the door. Saleos squints at the card. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Aziraphale Fell and Anthony J. Crowley.
Please RSVP at your earliest convenience.
The end.
Thank you for reading.
Please drop by the archive
and let the author know what you thought of their work.